And we're back inside PNC Studio. Ness and Bets kickoff. Travis Thomas here with my main man, Sam Panayotovich. Sammy P, before we get into the NFL action again this week, I just want to congratulate you. I told you, don't bet against Prime in Colorado. You did not listen to me, and you cashed yesterday. Congratulations to you in Colorado State, sir.
Thank you. Let's also be honest. I lost week one. I took I took TCU in week one, and that was not a good bet to make. Got it back yesterday, but I did have a little money line, man. I thought it was going to hit 10-1.
Hey, you almost got it done. All right, let's go to NFL. We'll start with the Giants taking on the Cardinals. They're out in the desert. I mean, Sammy P, I don't know. You weren't high on the Giants coming into this season. I wasn't either, but I thought they would give the Cowboys a game at home last week. Wrong. They got smoked by the Cowboys. I think Dallas just scored on them again. Do they go out to the desert and get right? They're favored by 4 against the Cardinals. By the way, that total is low, 39.5.
A lot of ugly games in the afternoon slate for sure when you look at the totals. I mean, I wouldn't bet over with your money in this game. I think Josh Dobbs, though, can make some plays with his legs that can sort of extend drives for Arizona. And this will be a popular bet. You know, a lot of the sports books, the DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM are reporting 85% of the bets on the New York Football Giants, which is not really a surprise because people are going to bet against the Cardinals every single week. That's going to be the way it goes. But as we've talked about on our shows during the week on Nesson, the Cardinals players aren't trying to tank. It's the organization that's trying to tank. So I think early this team is going to fight. And hell, man, they could have won last week against the Washington Football Group. They really could have. So I am not in a rush to get involved here on the spread. I sort of lean to the dog, especially if I can get +4.5, +5. Giants by a field goal, 17-14, 20-17, something like that. The Giants really overachieved last year, and I expect them to sort of underachieve this year to get back to the middle ground. But I'm not laying the points here with the road favorite.
Yeah, look, I'm not either. It's a player prop game for me. I'm looking at them now, Sammy P. Saquon, 71.5 rushing yards, 21.5 receiving yards. I really like the over for both in this game. I mean, obviously, taking on the Giants, as you mentioned, they're not a great football team. Neither are the Giants, but I do think the road to success for them, not just today, but maybe this season period, is getting Saquon the ball. I thought Dallas did a good job neutralizing him, and that's one of the reasons why you saw that score. So this could be a Saquon game. Here's another one I like that scares me a little. Darren Waller over 44.5 receiving yards. Now, we know a lot has been made about the hamstring injury. He says he's fine, something he's dealing with. The Giants say he's fine. So I'll take a shot here. As long as Waller is out there, Sammy P, I'm willing to bet on him. It's just how long is he out there? I mean, this guy gets hurt when the wind blows. But for me, it's a player prop game, and that's it. Your thoughts on those props?
Yeah, I don't hate the Waller prop. You just have to make sure he doesn't get hurt. That's always the case with Waller. He's always a hit away from missing multiple weeks in this league. But I'm going to go to a prop that's a longer shot. This is a little bet to win a lot. And let's also talk about price shopping. I mentioned the legwork for Josh Dobbs, the quarterback for Arizona. He can move about the cabin. And you can get 8-1 on him scoring a touchdown at FanDuel.
Wow.
8-1's a pretty nice pop. You know, pocket collapses, he runs out, maybe crosses the goal line, dives across. But the range on Dobbs to score, 8-1 at one book, 5-1 at another, 4-1 at another, and then 3-1 at MGM.
Wow.
That's a huge range, but I can pick off that 8-1 at FanDuel, bet $10, win 80, bet 100, win 800. I don't think that's a bad bet. Like, I think the price is closer to clearly 3 or 4-1, but there are some books dealing 8-1. So that's, to me, you want to take advantage of a bad number.
Not a bad bet at all. All right, how about this? Niners and Rams. I'm not going to hold you long here, my friend. I'm laying the points with the Niners. I learned my lesson last week. We talk about how we were burned last week on a couple bets. That was one for me. I had the Steelers. What was I thinking? They got annihilated by San Francisco. Meanwhile, the Rams ruined my ticket on the other side, betting against them. So this week, though, I'm just laying the points with the Niners. I'm not trusting the Rams at all. I think that was a fluke last week. What say you?
Wise guys agree with you. Right when this thing got popped in Vegas, they put it up last Sunday. It was San Francisco -7, and immediately, bang, 7.5, bang, up to 8. Now, there's been some movement back and forth, and we understand that because anything north of 7, people are going to take because it's a good number, right? But every time it gets back to that flat 7, it gets laid again. Like there are a lot of books right now at 7 -115. DraftKings has 7.5. Circa has 7.5. So every time it gets to that 7, it gets laid back, and then somebody else takes 7.5. So that tells me it's a good number. But yeah, if you're going to lay this right now, you don't have a bet in. You've got like an hour to go. Lay 7. Don't lay 7.5. Don't be laying bad numbers here, especially if this game lands 24-17 and you're laying 7.5. You don't want to be there. But I think this is a good teaser game. There are several great teaser opportunities this week in the NFL. Yep. You could take that 7 down to 1, maybe tease the Patriots up. Patriots getting 2.5. You could tease them up to 8.5. You need to win both legs, but I think San Francisco is going to win. Very popular survivor pick this week for a lot of people across this country. But if I had to bet this one, I would take San Francisco down from 7 to 1, and then take a dog like the Patriots up from 2.5 to 8.5.
All right, let's talk Jets and Cowboys. I'm sure the NFL is sick to their stomach that Aaron Rodgers is out for this whole season, but especially when they look at this game, Sammy P. I mean, could you imagine Aaron Rodgers and the Jets going to Jerry's World to take on the red-hot Cowboys? Instead, we get Zach Wilson. What do you know? By the way, Cowboys favored by 8.5 in this one, so clearly your guys in the desert not buying the Zach Wilson experience. You laying the points with the Cowboys, or you taking them with the Jets?
No, I'm not laying 8.5 against that Jets defense. That's the thing about New York. They're going to control the line of scrimmage, and they're pretty good on the offensive side in terms of running the ball, right? They have a two-headed monster, Dalvin Cook, Breece Hall. This will be a field position game because you have two really good defenses that are going to limit what these teams do well. So I look at this total. Yeah, it's low at 38.5. And, when Rodgers was actually on the field in New York on Monday night or in New Jersey, whatever, the total was 46.5. And then he got hurt and it reopened at 41, and then it just got blasted down. But this is not going to be a game full of touchdowns. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this was 10-10 in the third quarter. And then they need 21 points basically to get you over that 38.5. So I'm not going to go side here. I lean under. I know it's a low total, but man, we're going to see ferocious defense. You got a lot of really good players on the Dallas side of the ball, including Micah Parsons. And then, the secondary for the Jets is very good, headlined by Sauce Gardner. There are going to be minimal big plays in this game, and we know the books don't respect Zach Wilson. So let's take advantage of that and go under 38.5.
I like the underplay, and it sounds like you like the running backs in this game. Breece Hall, 38.5 rushing yards for his prop. How about this? Tony Pollard, 69.5 rush yards for him, 18.5 receiving yards. So if you want to get involved with either back, that feels like the game to do it. I would probably, myself, Sammy, I go over that Breece Hall number, I think.
How about the Dak interception prop? You there?
Oh, I'm there. Listen, I live in that neighborhood. I'm always there in a Cowboys game with Dak Prescott. How about this? Commanders and Broncos. Talk about a low total here. Sammy's reaction says it all. 38.5. Broncos favored by 3.5. What's your play in this game?
I don't have a single bet, but I can tell you that Adam Chernoff, who bets the NFL professionally, he's a guest on our digital stuff weekly on Nesson that I put out on Twitter. And he said that his group, they were very happy to lay 3.5 with Denver here. Now it's up to 4. So obviously, you're not going to get the best of the number. You're going to push on the 4. But this is one of those old school sharp angles where you take the home team that's 0-1 and you lay the wood against the road team that's 1-0. And as we already discussed, the Washington Football Academy probably just a little bit lucky to be 1-0 after they barely bulldozed the Arizona Cardinals. But I think this is a game where the offensive scripting has to be better for Denver. Get the rust off of Russell Wilson. I think Sean Payton will have the ability to execute some plays in this one. And I think the move on the favorite is warranted from 3.5 to 4. I think the Commanders are the wrong side here. I think they lose by 7 or 10. So if you're looking for a bet here, I would probably lay the 4 with Denver.
Okay, Sammy tells you lay the 4. I'm telling you take the under. I mean, here you have 2 solid defenses, but 2 quarterbacks that are just mysteries. I mean, we don't know enough about Sam Howell, right? And then Russell Wilson really isn't a mystery at this point, Sammy P. I mean, I'm not willing to go as far as to say he's washed, but I'm this close. I mean, even with Sean Payton, I don't see much difference than what I did last season. The Broncos' ineptitude to move the ball offensively under Russell Wilson. I'm running out of excuses there. So I like your play on the Broncos, but I'm just going to take the under because I think this game is going to be bad and ugly. By the way, if the Commanders change their name to whatever, will you then call them that name or will you continue to call them the Washington Football Group?
Washington Football Conglomerate.
There you have it, folks. And you know what? We'll be back tonight at 7 p.m. right here on Ness and Bet's Kickoff to break down Dolphins, Patriots. We've been waiting all day for Sunday night. We'll see you at 7 right here to get you ready for that one.